Baldi's Basics is an instant classic, a weirdly iconic indie horror game that balances goofiness with fear. Love it or hate it, Baldi stands out. With that being said, however, the game doesn't really hold mass popularity like FNAF or even Bendy does. Quite frankly, it's just not as recognised. And with so many iterations of the game releasing over time, it's hard for those outside the small, hardcore fanbase to keep track of it all. So for this video, I present to you a comprehensive guide to every edition of Baldi's Basics, past, present, and future. Greetings and welcome to Continuity Error. My name is Matt, and I know you just want me to get on with listing all of the Baldi editions, but that's just the thing. I'd like to specify the difference between editions and versions before we start. It's an important distinction for this video. When I talk about the different editions of Baldi's Basics, I mean separate releases, separate executable builds such as Plus and Classic Remastered. Technically, these are entirely separate games, but of course they're all built on the same code and the same ideas. When I reference different versions of Baldi's Basics, I mean updates within editions, such as 1.1, 1.2.1, 0.3.4, etc. These can be major, minor, or patch updates, introducing new features and fixing bugs. In this video, I will attempt to cover every edition comprehensively, but not every update. If I covered every minor patch within every different Baldi game, we'd be here all day. Some notable versions will be mentioned, but this video is intended to be broad rather than deep. An introduction for beginners and a did you catch 'em all for Baldi fans. Baldians, Basics, Baldi's! Baldi's not! Anyways, with that out of the way, here's an overview of every Baldi's Basics game so far. Number 1. Classic. The original Baldi's Basics. This is probably the one you're most familiar with, the one you first saw popping up in YouTuber Let's Plays in early 2018. Released on March 31st, 2018 on itch.io, and later, as with most versions of Game Jolt 2, the very first edition of Baldi's Basics introduced us to Baldi, and many fundamental elements of his game that are still around to this day. The You Can Think pad, aka the YCTP, the schoolhouse, characters such as the Principal of the Thing, Playtime, and Gotta Sweep, items such as the energy-flavoured Zesty Bar, the Bee Soda, and the swinging door lock. This edition was updated several times over the course of 2018, however, with the developer Mistman12, whose real name is Micah McGonigal, that's me, responding to Baldi's popularity with tweaks and additions to the game, such as a keypad for the YCTP, an endless mode, and even a brand new character, First Prize, among other small changes to character spawning, timers, sounds, textures, and bug fixes. Did I mention the secret ending yet? The last update to the original Baldi's was released on June 18th, 2019, by which time 2 other editions had released. Number 2. Field Trip Demo. If you remember this, you get a Veterans Pass. Released on July 24th, 2018, the same day as the Baldi Kickstarter page, more on that later, the Field Trip demo featured 2 new maps, one with a principal Easter egg that played into the game's meta aspect, and another in the forest with Baldi adorned in a camping costume. In this minigame, you must collect sticks to keep the campfire alight as long as possible, earning You Can Think points, YCTPs for short, and items along the way to victory. As well as bringing It's a Bully and Arts and Crafters back from Classic, the demo features Cloudicopter for the first time, all with new game mechanics designed to disrupt stick collection. Unlike most versions of Baldi's Basics though, this demo had little impact long term, and the entire game mode was scrapped and replaced with a new camping field trip, although Baldi's outfit in Cloudicopter did make it into Baldi's Basics Plus, which I will talk about plenty later in this video. Number 3. Birthday Bash. With Baldi's Basics anniversary on March 31st, the 1-year anniversary special Birthday Bash released on April 1st, 2019. No April Fool's pranks in the halls. While essentially being a modified version of Classic, this edition of Baldi's has several major differences. Every item has been randomly shuffled and gift wrapped, and all vending machines now dispense random items instead of Bee Sodas and Zesty Bars. Balloons and party hats decorate rooms and characters respectively, and 2 new endings, one featuring a creepy second floor sequence, and another secret ending relying on the new dangerous teleporter item. The Birthday Bash is one of the more memorable editions of Baldi's, with very obvious influence on the overall brand, even as recently as 2022. Under the new name Party Mode, the Birthday Bash returned, retaining its randomization and aesthetic, with a new reworked ending and general gameplay tweaks from other editions on this list, as an entire game mode in Baldi's Basics Classic Remastered, which just like Plus, I will talk much more about towards the end of this video. Number 4. Full game demo. To me, this marks the beginning of modern Baldi's Basics, and an evolution away from the old format. First demo for what would eventually become Baldi's Basics Plus, released on August 12, 2019, and introduced many new features. An entirely new map with elevators, a new total of 5 inventory slots, the grapple hook and apple items, as well as random events such as fog and lockdown. This was also the first iteration of the game credited to basically games rather than Mistman 12, Michael McGonigal's small indie development team founded in July 2018 for the full game Kickstarter. Some things didn't stick. The textures and sounds for elevators and empty item slots have been changed since, but this demo gave us the first real taste of the fast-paced feel of Baldi's Basics Plus, with maths entirely removed, opting for 8 notebooks that you can pick up without any interruption of gameplay, and a map that you can view while holding tab, that fills out as you progress. The skeleton of the ultimate Baldi game was beginning to show itself. Number 5. Kickstarter Demo. Remember that Kickstarter I mentioned earlier? Well, on November 2nd, 2019, a demo exclusive to Kickstarter supporters who had donated $30 or more to the full Baldi's Basics game was privately released on Kickstarter. And it was essentially a beta for Plus, with a lot of new content. 3 randomly generated floors, a brand new farm-themed corn maze field trip, the library, free run mode, items such as the faculty name tag and the principal whistle, as well as chalkles, all debuted in this demo. If the full game demo was the skeleton of Plus, then the Kickstarter demo was the meat, like the game but without its skin. Point is, a lot of new stuff was added that is familiar to us today. Even Cloudycopter returned with a brand new game mechanic, and in an update on March 14th, 2020, even more new content was introduced. The gum-spitting beans and the ever-insistent Mrs. Pomp, as well as math machines and the glorious, stamina-filling, eternally hydrating water fountain. All things considered, where the full game demo sparked fresh ideas, the Kickstarter demo set things ablaze with new content. Of course, only $30 backers got to play this, but that just meant that everyone else experienced all of these new features for the first time later on, in the next 2 editions of Baldi's on this list. Number 6. The Challenges Demo. Now we arrive at March 31st, 2020, the 2-year anniversary of Baldi's Basics and the unique Challenges Demo. This was, in a way, the end of the middle age of Baldi and the last of the demos between Classic and Plus. This demo featured 3 special curated game modes never seen anywhere other than the full release of Plus, pretty much completely unchanged from their original state as well. The Speedy Challenge, where you and Baldi alone roam a massive schoolhouse at high speed, with a total of 25 notebooks to collect. The Stealthy Challenge, where you must avoid numerous principals after hours, or be teleported into his office where Baldi is waiting for you, and the Grapple Challenge, a level similar to the full game demo that also happens to include Mrs. Pomp with one big twist. You can't walk, your legs are broken, and movement is only possible with an infinite use grapple hook. While not featuring everything from the Kickstarter demo, these challenges provided unique and fresh new ways to play Baldi in the wait for everything, Kickstarter exclusive or otherwise, to finally be made public in the next release. Number 7. Plus. June 12th, 2020. Baldi's Basics Plus Early Access releases publicly, with the full game and all future updates available for just $10. We're now in the modern age of Baldi, and this really signifies the shift from demos and betas to full games. Plus is still in development and will continue to evolve and change as time progresses after this video is released, but as of now, it has included everything from all prior versions other than some scrapped assets and field trips. The challenges, endless mode, free run mode, now renamed to Explorer mode, redesigned camping and farming field trips, and of course the main game, hide and seek. Every character from the Kickstarter is here, as well as some new ones such as Johnny, who runs a store you can visit between floors and buy items from with YCTPs, and the mysterious and complicated Test, as well as more events such as gravity being flipped, Baldi's ruler breaking and flooding. Numerous reworks to everything from Arts and Crafters teleportation to Mrs. Pomp's functionality have also occurred over a dozen minor updates in the last 2 years, and all the details can be found in the devlogs on Steam, GameJolt, and itch.io respectively. Before I conclude statements on Plus, however, there's one final edition of Baldi that we haven't yet covered. Number 8. Classic Remastered. March 31st, 2021 is a notable date in Baldi history, because for the 3-year anniversary of Baldi's Basics, the official Basically Games YouTube channel uploaded an exclusive video featuring Micah McGonagall announcing merchandise, a roadmap of development for Plus, and an entirely new game. 15 months later, after a trailer on October 15th, it finally came out on October 21st, 2022. The second and only other full Baldi game on Steam, Baldi's Basics Classic Remastered. Classic Remastered brings everything together, featuring aspects and references to almost every single version of Baldi's Basics prior. 3 modes, one based on the Classic Edition from 2018, one inspired by the 2019 Birthday Bash, and a third demo mode modelled on Plus, all in the same original Schoolhouse map. The Classic mode is largely the same as the original Baldi's Basics, with all the tweaks and improvements to character behaviour from the last few years, as well as an improved user interface on top of the original experience, with the same endings too. The Party mode has the same randomised items, but as mentioned earlier, some changes have been made to the ending. Meanwhile, in Demo mode, while not all characters and items from Plus are present, random events are still here, and so are the math machines. Classic Remastered brings plenty of original content to Baldi's though. 3 new fun settings unlocked by beating each mode can be toggled at any time to increase the challenge of any given mode, and numerous secrets, Easter eggs, rooms, and other modes can be unlocked via codes typed into the YCTP. There are also Steam achievements for the first time ever, and some neat reworks. You can now move while jumping over Playtime's rope, and alarm clocks of a new model that allows them to be set to ring after different amounts of time. All of these changes were added to Plus for parity as well, which comes onto the last item of this list. Number 9. Plus again? I've talked about the release dates and features of Plus and Remastered and stuck strictly with the facts while treading the history of Baldi's Basics, but for these final 2, I'd like to make some personal concluding statements. As it currently stands, Baldi's Basics Plus is the game's final form, and the only addition to the game that isn't free. The full game that has been in the works since almost the beginning. In my eyes, Plus is the ultimate edition of Baldi, the one with the most features, Baldi's final form, and the last foreseeable edition of Baldi's ever developed by Basically Games. Since Classic Remastered is done now, development of Plus is speeding back up, and as far as I can tell, it's the only project left to finish before Baldi's Basics is done. Classic Remastered, meanwhile, might just be the definitive Baldi experience. Sure, Classic is the original, but this remaster is the same thing with numerous small improvements. Better RNG balancing alone makes it a superior game in my opinion. It also connects to everything else Baldi, with entire modes for the iconic Anniversary Special and Plus, roughly equivalent to one of the older demos, and it still has plenty of unique content. Classic Remastered is also free, so more people are likely to play it, and a ton of secrets and replayability make it stand out. Especially since it's the only other Baldi game to release on Steam. The thing is though, Classic Remastered has been and gone, while Plus is still in the middle of development. Plus is now up to version 0.3.8 post-remastered, and will continue to update to an unknown number of versions in future, as it has done for 2 years already, with potentially a dozen more characters, items, events, and perhaps a final full release will even include endings, secrets, and achievements similar to those within Classic Remastered. While there is a lot that I could speculate about, there are some things Micah McGonagall himself has said that may or may not be confirmed. Broadly speaking though, there are definitely going to be some big content updates to Plus, and I'm all for it. I'm gonna be here over on my gaming channel, link in the description, I'm gonna go subscribe, playing through each and every update as it releases, so if you're interested in watching that, better yet, play the game for yourself. I love Baldi's Basics, and seeing it improve and evolve over the years has been a joy. The journey is almost over, so now is the best time to hop on and experience these games for yourself. Aside from Plus, every single one of them is free, available, and finished on multiple platforms. If you'd like to play Plus or Classic Remastered, I have linked Basically Games' website in the description. You can find them on Steam, GameJolt, or itch.io from there, whichever site you prefer. For all the other versions, I'd like to thank the Baldi's Basics wiki, also linked in the description, for sourcing downloads of pretty much every other build of the game. Although, if you didn't donate that $30 for the Kickstarter, that one will probably just give you an anti-piracy screen. I'd also like to thank this wiki for helping me fact check my memory. This video was based on experience since I watched and played all of these as they came out, but just because you lived through it doesn't mean you remember all the facts and stats exactly. So I checked this wiki for things like release dates and exact features, because there were a couple things I didn't quite remember. Although I know wikis can be wrong sometimes, so hopefully this video didn't have any misinformation. Do comment me in the comments if I missed something or if I said something that was incorrect. With all of that said and done, the video is over, so thank you so much for watching. Go support Basically Games, and hell, yeah, maybe support me. Leave a like, share this if you enjoyed it. If you have friends or family who would like this video, they could do with this video and they can't find this video, do send it to them. You'd be doing us all a favor. And yeah, subscribe and speculate. What do you think the final version of Baldi's Basics Plus is going to be like?